Welcome to a Brief History Conspiracy and part 2 of our look at the Skinwalker Ranch with my old mate from Stranger Times. Now, I'm still on my holiday, but I'm still editing the video for you guys, so please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, it really helps us out. Right, the history of Skinwalker as well, I mean, it goes back, the earliest mention of it I found was 1776.
Get on. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so Silvestre Velez de Escalante.
Yeah, that's it.
So, you know, reports of fireballs and whatever. We agree on a date.
Yeah.
That's the first time in this episode we've agreed on a date.
Was that the History Channel?
No, it's just me researching it. I don't know. I read it somewhere. I can't remember now.
Yeah.
What I do is I Google it, and then I read everything on the first page of Google, and then I'm done. I don't go to the second page of Google. There's only evil on the second page of Google. So you always go on the
research everything. Yeah, it goes on to say that that the locals in that time, centuries before, had always sort of reported all that weird stuff.
Well, if we call about this thing about that, how it's called Skinwalker Ranch, like we mentioned briefly, didn't we? This the part of the religion of the Navajos. The Navajos used to come over and take Utes for slaves as well. They were lovely.
Oh, nice.
They would have occasional wars. You know, I think our image of the Native Americans now is all they're living in nature and you know, like these great wise people, because we all watched the Pocahontas Disney movie and they're all wise and things. They warred a lot. You know, they kicked the crap out of each other. Yeah. So they would take them for slaves. And
my grandparents on my mum's side were Iroquois Indians.
All right.
Yeah. I think that's why I have such a fascination with Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah. But I mean, these skinwalkers were like these shape-shifting creatures. Like you said, if you looked at them, they could steal your soul and stuff, and they would walk. But they could shift into different animals and things, and they could.
Yeah.
That would have just been their way of understanding, perhaps something that was really weird. I mean, it's like an evil place or something.
Possibly, but if you look into, I'd probably say 85 to 90% of human legend, 75, 80%, possibly even more, always does have some sort of animal transformation within the legend or
werewolves, animagi and things like this.
Yeah, Harry Potter. Woohoo! Love it.
Yeah. Most of my references are Harry Potter related. If you talk about this sort of thing.
With the Skinwalker Ranch again, it encompasses, as I sort of said before, every paranormal, every sort of spooky event that's sort of gone on. And I don't know if you're familiar with the Missing 411 with David Pilardes.
Yes.
Yeah,
I am. I will be doing an episode on that at some point if ever I get round to it. That's fascinating. Isn't that Bigfoot? Don't you think that's Bigfoot or something?
No. He did write a book or a couple of books on Bigfoot.
Is that why I'm mixing it up? Okay.
He's credible as anything. I absolutely love David Pilardes and the Missing 411. He doesn't exaggerate anything. He just tells facts, similarities between each case that he pulls out. So, for instance, and it's about missing people. So, for instance, any missing person that is in lots of debt or has financial trouble or any family trouble or was signs that they went missing from like an animal attack or anything like that, he won't look at. He will leave it. He'll go, that's not a missing 411. The missing 411 is basically where you're with somebody. It can be a group of up to like 30, 50 people, for instance, as well, or just like two of you. And your friend says, right, I'm just going to carry on walking while you tie your shoelace up. You look up and they're gone. Simple as that. Just gone.
Yeah.
Gone. And also people on their own as well, like hunters and things. And as he's built his cases up, he's found all these similarities, and they are so exact. It's scary. he's put together that the same experiences that people that have sort of survived or had a near miss with nearly sort of going missing, is the same sort of things that people in the Skinwalker Ranch were experiencing, and other places around the world in sort of different areas around the world. So for instance, when somebody sees a Bigfoot or cryptid, like weird things that happen, like there'll be no birds, it'll be silent as anything, there won't be no noise, you'll feel a certain way. You might even see a weird, strange mist, which is a video that another video that I'm doing about time storms, which is fucking crazy, but not in a paranormal way, in a scientific way. And so virtually not all sightings with Bigfoot and cryptids, but again, I'll probably say 85 to 95% of them, the Bigfoot sightings and the sightings at Skinwalker Ranch are identical, and the same things with the people going missing as well.
I think it's certain areas. Because I know,
it could be because
I think about ley lines and things like that.
Yeah,
and how we seem to understand this. Go on.
Where I don't know what it's called. You would have heard of it, but it's where gravity is a bit weird. So the house is like that, and you're standing up straight, but actually you're standing like that.
Take a picture of me, Kitty. What does it feel like when you sit in the chair? Well, the chair is good.
But I do wonder about like ley lines and things like this. That seems to be an ancient knowledge that somehow there's whole maps showing ley lines and having these things that are lined up together. And you know, I mean, there's even some scientific evidence. I remember looking at Adam's calendar in North Africa, and there's weird magnetic vortices going on in this ancient monument that is recordable. It's evidence. You see temperature drops and things when you walk into the middle of this site. I mean, there's lots of nonsense said about it as well, but I mean, these things are recordable. You see the same thing with crop circles, genuine crop circles sometimes, these magnetic anomalies. See, I can say anomaly.
Nominally.
Phenomena. I've seen a crop circle. That's my claim to fame. I screeched my car to a halt, got out, and went out.
You used the car? Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I had to get at I was actually on a motor. I had to drive off, turn around, come back. It was in Telford where I lived years ago. So I just went and stood in the crop circle, and I'll tell you what, man. I don't know if it was real or not, because you know a lot of them are faked. But none of the stalks were broken. They seemed to be folded, like they'd melted, sort of thing, and they just folded over, and they were like intertwined, like they'd been knitted.
Oh wow!
Rather than like flat down in straight lines, they were like knotted over in knotted to each other.
Yeah.
And
photos.
Well, I wasn't into it as much then.
Yeah.
If I knew I was going to have a YouTube channel 10 years later, I'd done a video on it, but I didn't then. I just wanted to experience it. I just wanted to sort of.
Did you feel different inside?
Not really.
No.
It did feel odd.
Yeah.
But as I started looking at it, I started thinking, this can't be done the way they say it's done. This can't be done with like a board and two blokes. I mean, don't get me wrong, it wasn't that big, so it could have been done like that. But the way it was knotted together, it was sort of like, what do they do then? Go like cross stitch it? Well, I mean, like, you know, so that felt a bit creepy. It was a bit like, oh shit, and it was on the side of a hill as well, so it was like that, 45 degrees like that. So you could actually say, oh god, it would have been
late 90s,
early noughties. No, early noughties, yeah. So 2002, 2003 maybe.
Oh, early, yeah. Virtually the same as what I saw, because I was on a National Express bus going back up north from Kent, and it was on the left-hand side. And I was looking out the window, and I was like,
To be fair, this was on the left-hand side, but that was the way I was going. It would have been the right-hand side if I was going the other way.
Yeah.
But it was the left-hand side. But yeah, it's on the M54, just off the M54 it was.
Yeah. Interesting.
So that was crazy. Now, I've never been a big one on crop circles. My colleague that I normally do videos with, though, is huge. He's convinced. But then you look into them, and some of them, if they are fake, somebody's got way too much time on their hands. They actually have had competitions before now, like to actually genuinely fake them. And some of these things, they take days to do.
Yeah, of course.
But they things supposed to appear overnight and stuff. And I just wonder as well how many are done and that are found by accident. So it's like, so if I'm going to go through all that effort and do a crop circle, I'm going to make sure I'm going to do it next to the motorway so it gets seen.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it in the middle of a field nowhere, and it might not get even found.
Yeah, exactly.
You know
And then you've got all the eyewitness accounts of these weird lights hovering over the top, and there being a crop circle and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I do believe that with all this UFO, Bigfoot, all that sort of stuff, there's got to be something, like 100% there's got to be. It can't be all fake. It can't all be flipping, illusions and crap like that. There's got to be some actual truth.
So no, I think this thing with the Skinwalker, though, just about that. There is this UFO alley, and it seems to be that there is this strip right through the middle of America that there is loads of sightings, loads of UFO sightings. Nevada goes straight through the middle of it. Yeah. So I don't know if it's because there's a lot of it. There's a lot of it is probably the military, because I'm sure they use that area.
We should have a look, see if it's on a fault line as well.
It is on a ley line. A ley line does go through. It's the 76 parallel or 36 parallel. I'll Q overlap. No, I do it now. It's the 36 or 76, I forget, but it's the parallel. And this line apparently goes through, and it goes through some of the most amazing things around the world. It goes this parallel line goes through. Yeah. But it is across ley lines, and and Skinwalker comes right in the middle of it. Yeah. I just wonder whether a lot of Skinwalker is. I mean, because there was a story in 2002 in Bottle Hollow, which is next to Skinwalker, and it was a USO. A very large object was seen dive bombing into the water, and it was seen by about 30 people. A UFO goes straight into the water, So
that's another thing with just going back to the missing 411 and weird things happening. So a lot of these disappearances with the missing or not a lot, but all of them with the missing 411 in near large bodies of water and granite, however you want to say it, like the stone granite. Yeah. How do you say it? Granite?
We're British, so we say granite.
Granite.
Yeah. Americans would say granite.
Granite. That's granite.
No. Granite.
Yeah.
Aluminum. There's another letter in there that you're just ignoring, but anyway.
And so when he was talking to somebody about the Skinwalker Ranch, David Pilardis, one of the first questions he asked was, is there any large bodies of water nearby? And there's a few.
There's open springs and things, because the Ute.
Yeah, there's a little river in through the ranch as well.
One of the things in the Ute folklore is that they thought springs and places of water like that, certain waterways, were places of negative energy, and that's where demons could go from their world into ours. It was like some of these water things were gateways into our world. Yeah, is that because they were seeing things emerge from the water that they couldn't explain? Maybe
it was a portal opening up.
So if we just try to wrap it up a little bit, what is the one? Is there one thing with the Skinwalker that you can point to go, that convinced me? That might convince me.
The cryptids.
The cryptids.
Yeah. Because it's the same sort of stories or encounters or whatever with every other cryptid about and also, like, again, just really quickly, I'm going to go back to where it all sort of comes in together. So with like the Bigfoot sightings, where they find footprints and stuff like that, and they'll just stop, they'll end. Yeah. If it's in snow, if it's in mud, whatever, the footsteps will just stop, and the creature that's made them will just disappear, just vanish. And it's the same at the Skinwalker Ranch. They'll just vanish. Just 1 second they're there, the next thing they're not. They're shot off. But if you to sort of look at it and stuff like that, it will just vanish. It will go back into its portal or whatever it does.
The tracks sort of just stop as well, don't they? When they've found physical evidence, they stop after 20 or 30 meters.
That's it.
It's the same with a lot of the cattle mutilations, that there's no footprints and things around them.
Yeah, that's it. And it's not just at the Skinwalker Ranch where it's happening. As I said, so everything that happens there happens all around the world. I've experienced poltergeist activity personally myself with my family, my mum, and a couple of friends, and it's exactly the same as what's going on there. And with the NIDS team saying that whatever it is intelligent, and it's always one step ahead, just makes you think, well, let's just say it is all true, then what the fuck is going on? What are we dealing with?
Yeah. Were investigating dropped by about 90%. Just up the road in Canada, they rocketed, and they went up about 800%. So whatever was going on moved.
Yeah.
And as soon as the investigation ended, it came back.
Yeah.
And it started again.
I did when I first set my YouTube channel up, I did 1 or 2 videos on Skinwalker and Missing 411. You should have a look at that.
I'll go back and have a look.
Yeah, because I put a list on of all the government agencies that were involved with Skinwalker Ranch. You'll be surprised, man.
I know the Air Force were involved.
Yeah,
were over there. The Air Force intelligence, Navy intelligence were there as well for some reason.
Yeah, virtually
nowhere near the water.
Yeah, all there, mate. It's crazy, and they're not going to put money and resources into looking into something that it's the bloody American government, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
I
made the point. I was talking to a pal not long ago about remote viewing.
Oh yeah.
So about remote viewing. Yeah, exactly. Now there was a myth or a story came out that the Russians actually did that they tricked the Americans. They released a story that they were looking into psychic stuff to basically get the Americans to waste their time. And the Americans went for it because they went, oh shit, if the Russians are looking into it, we've got to. But they then looked into it for the next 50 years. But these projects went on that we know of for at least 20 years, and we believe they still are. Yeah. A lot of the research into things like acid and DMT and all these sorts of things, and how it can open up in psychic and yeah, exactly. But astral projection and all this sort of thing.
I was watching a video on that earlier on today.
Yeah, but the amount of money they spent was insane. But it's not even just the money. I mean, $20-30 million for these guys is nothing. They'll spend that on a hammer at Skunkworks. It's the time they put into it. You'd think they'd go into it. You'd go, okay, you're psychic, are you? Yes, I am. Okay, what's this card? Ace. No, it's a king. You're not psychic. Stop talking shit. And that would be it. Done. Yeah. But they researched it for 20 years.
Yeah, that's it.
That we know of.
Yeah. But again, David Kallardis on the missing, just really quickly on the Missing 411. He gets a lot of people saying, why don't the police or the SAR, like search and rescue, use mediums and psychics to find missing people.
Yeah.
They do. Not all
They
the
do
time.
occasionally. I know they do occasionally.
And because David Pilates was a police officer in, I think, New York for 21 years. And he knows of cases where psychics or mediums or whatever were brought in and then just like, no, go away, you just don't know what you're talking about. And then the next one will come in and they go, right, yeah, oh, bloody hell, yeah, we'll use you.
That's pretty close, yeah.
And know the psychics and stuff that have been used for like 20, 30 years by certain agencies and stuff like that.
Yeah, they keep it under the rug though, don't they? They keep it quiet because they don't want to get mocked. And also when it goes to trial, imagine what a lawyer would do with that.
Yeah, exactly.
So it has to be kept quiet. So,
yeah.
It's about missing people though. When I went to America, and you go to like to the truck stops, every single truck stop, they'd have like a big car park and have the toilets in the middle, and that's where they have all the missing people posters. I've never seen it in the UK. Every single truck stop in America was hundreds of photos of missing people.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe this is one of those places, and that's why these things are attracted to it.
Yeah, could be, mate. Yeah, very much
All
so.
right. I'm gonna go because my wife wants to walk the dog, and I can feel her waiting.
A
cockapoo named Harry. Because Harry Potter again. That's why we named him after Harry Potter. Generally speaking, people that consider themselves debunkers, they're gonna find something regardless. Because they're trying to.
Yeah, that's it, and they want to as well.
Yeah, you don't go into it thinking I want to find some truth. You go into it going, this isn't true, and I'm going to prove it. That's not the right way of doing it. It's just as bad as people that believe everything they read and. It drives me crazy in our community. I keep going on about being open-minded. Open-minded is not believing that everything that that mainstream media says is a lie. That's not being open-minded.